best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy. The OG on the marquee, Jaybird. And the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the dawn.
Good afternoon, Quad Cities. You're listening to ESPN 1170 AM. Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Brought to you by Dunright Satellite TV Solutions, Security Solutions. It's 12:01, Thursday, March 12th. And you can mark me at 40, how old am I? 44 years, 1 month, and so many days free of the coronavirus.
Hey!
Look at me.
Look at
But
you.
hey, I mean, it's going to dominate the show, and I'm sorry, folks. It's all over the place, and you know it as well. It's all over your social media. It's on. It started last night, and well, I think it's going to be a fun conversation between Bomber and I about this, because there are certain times when you have to look at it and just be like, what is going on, and what threat level midnight am I at?
Danger zone.
You know, I'll just start off with a text I just got from a friend, okay? And it's really, it does make sense. And I think, Bomber, it might kick off our conversation, because you'll say, in some ways, I think it's to your point of percentages and everything else. But
Okay.
My friend Matt Sherritt texted me. He said that one thing that people don't talk about is how sports really drives the public in this country. No one listens to the government or scientists, but when we start seeing sporting events and leagues shut down, the people pay attention. Mm-hmm. Thank you, sports, for transcending beyond games. Now, I take a look at it, a couple things. He says, thank you, sports, but still, I'm looking at this. And my reply to him back was of a fun gesture to be like, and Tom Hanks. I'm going to have fun out of it. But the thing I think he's pointing at is really that's when we're like, oh, my goodness, what's going on? Or when it's in our backyard. A lot of times when we talk Bomber's in studio. T-Roy's out. He's got Hazel. Surge is actually up in Iowa City with a follow-up, not because he has a coronavirus, even though there's 3 confirmed cases in Johnson County, or more by now. We'll look at the numbers later. But he's a follow-up. He's making sure he's going to be up and running. Both wheels are going to be good so that he can get grinding. But like we said, Bomber, I think a lot of times when you get numbers, it is that a lot of people aren't paying attention to scientists or the government or the numbers or what to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's more like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Or when it's in our backyard. Like, unfortunately, the St. Patrick's Day parade is canceled.
Yeah, that was a blow. I was surprised to see that. I don't know, though. I think the panic is manufactured, mostly.
What does that mean, manufactured?
Well, some would say
When you use it.
I'm a conspiracy theorist, I guess. So my opinion on the whole matter is that if it was seriously as big of a deal as they say it is, it wouldn't be everywhere like it is. Do you know what I mean? It would be more secretive. If it was seriously millions of people's lives were in danger, I don't think that they would be broadcasting it everywhere, because they don't want to create hysteria. So this is all manufactured for a reason. I don't know if it's necessarily all for distraction. Obviously, it exists and it's a real thing. But I think that everything that's happening is just to make it a bigger deal.
So you're saying, like, the Illuminati would keep this a secret? If
Not
there
the
was a
Illuminati. The government would keep it a secret. They don't want to.
Which is run by the Illuminati.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. Beyonce runs the government.
I'm saying that and to your point about the conspiracy, I have a different one, and we'll talk about it later when it comes to the NBA. The NBA shut down their season for now.
Yeah.
Right? They suspended it.
Right.
They had a player who tested positive. Mm-hmm. Where is that at? There's one real big problem about this gentleman who tested positive, and the thing that's I think is the most appalling to me, and I had it, and I wish I would have bookmarked it, but where is it at? I'll find it real quick. It's I know the player is Rudy Gobert, but Where is it at? Oh, darn it. I'll find it. He mocked just days ago, and I'll find the link. He mocked just days ago about the panic of it at a post-game media thing, and when he mocked it, he went and touched all 6 microphones on the stand.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, that's a little. I don't know if I would do all that, but Derek said the media is reporting what they are being told by the WHO and the CDC. Correct. No, the media isn't creating the panic, but they're promoting the panic.
They are.
They're
Okay,
promoting.
it, yeah.
They're promoting. They're making it worse, is what they're doing, and yeah.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Touched all 6.
He made it a point to mock precautions surrounding the coronavirus by touching all the microphones around him following a session with the media. Eek.
Mm-hmm.
So this is last night, and that was kind of the one that was like, wow, this is nuts. All right, the COVID-19 virus, the NBA and the NBA Players Associations met Wednesday morning. We talked about this yesterday to talk about what they were going to do about the coronavirus. And then on Wednesday night, it was a wild turn. What happened was just as the Jazz and the Thunder were getting ready to tip off in Oklahoma City, officials were alerted to a situation and delayed the start of the game. Jazz star Rudy Gobert, who felt symptoms of illness prior to Wednesday's game, was tested for the COVID-19 and came back, and the results came back in just prior to the start of the game that he tested positive. I hate the tested positive part, by the way, because I'm old enough that when you tested positive, the first thing it rang a bell that was a death sentence.
Yeah.
I
Test positive.
Yes. I hate test positive.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't mean the same to maybe someone 20 years younger than me.
Right.
But to me, when I hear it, the first thing I'm like, oh my God.
The 80s epidemic is what you're speaking of, yes.
Absolutely.
No, totally. We have Derek said coronavirus has a high death rate than the flu. It does not. That is not an accurate statement. That's false. There's also a vaccine for the flu, correct. But the flu is ever changing. The vaccine does not cure the flu. There is no cure for influenza. That's false as well. There is no strain of influenza that is the same from person to person because it's always morphing to survive from person to person. So even if you get a flu shot, that's not going to protect you from a flu that somebody else has. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's always morphing.
It's always it's morphing. It's getting stronger. Mm-hmm. It's what do you call that? What's the word I'm looking for?
Go influenza.
Go. You know what I mean? What's the word?
I got you. It's a virus. It's as much as your body's.
There's no cure.
Your immune system is fighting that and changing.
Yeah.
Whatever else, the virus is changing too.
Absolutely. What's the word? It's not. Is it metamorphin?
I like morphine.
I like morphine.
Yeah.
It's always changing and getting stronger. That's a fact. There's no, and the doctors will even tell you when you get the flu shot, this doesn't guarantee protection from the flu because the flu is forever changing. It's never the same strain that they create the vaccine for. So, and then the people wearing these masks, like a virus is smaller than the pores in those masks. It's not going to protect you. Maybe if somebody sneezes directly in your face, it'll protect you. But it's not. They don't. I mean, it can leak. I mean, viruses are smaller than the pores in your body. That's how viruses are spread. See what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I think this is going to be a lot of fun talking about this and everything else. I will tell you where the panic sits in on me a little bit and where I think of things and the numbers I look at and I say I'm like, okay, well, there's things to look at here. But going on with that, Gobert was not in the arena, but the game was immediately postponed and players were quarantined at the arena. The NBA announced they would indefinitely suspend the season following Wednesday's slate of games. The Wednesday's Kings-Pelicans game was also postponed because a referee working the game was assigned to a Jazz game earlier in the week. Teams that have played the Jazz in the last 10 days are all told to self-quarantine. Cavaliers, Knicks, Celtics, Pistons, Raptors, Thunders. So I'm looking at 8 teams, 12 on the bench.
Wow.
Set of 10 coaches, maybe? 22? 160 people that might affect between them. I mean,
think of the revenue loss.
Oh, it's huge.
It's crazy.
And we'll go on to talk about that. The president came on last night, and he said that it obviously it's now considered a pandemic. He mentioned that he's going to set up an account, a fund that you can apply for relief if if you're under hardship because you can't go to your job, you're quarantined or whatnot. He listed it all. I watched it. I didn't watch it word for word. I didn't fact check it, and I haven't read anything of it. So if anyone's out there like, that's not what he said, I don't care.
It seemed, they will.
Yeah, it seemed good to me. I was like, you know what? Good for him.
Right.
Honestly, that is me standing in my kitchen, looking into my living room, and just going,
eating brownies over the sink. Going, oh
yeah. I go, Hey, good for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like it. It's a good move on his part. Andy said it won't pass Congress. Well, he is
I
the executive
think,
branch, so it doesn't really matter.
from what I understand, right afterwards, that
he can overrule that.
bipartisanship was pretty much in favor of it.
They would have to be. That's suicide if they're going to be like, we're not standing up for these
costs a lot of money,
people.
but, yeah.
Well, so did the impeachment process. So I don't want to hear how much it costs.
Way to just turn that back in, Bobber, on your side.
I don't want to hear them talk about money ever.
So then we've got the, we'll come back to the NBA because, like you said about, conspiracy. I don't know if it's conspiracy, but I'm going to come back to the NBA suspending their season and why this might be, one, plan for the NBA, planned by the NBA to do it.
Ooh.
Yes, to suspend it. And two, why it might be a good thing. But, they had Mark Cuban on. He was like, he's looking into how he's going to pay his part-time employees, the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he's trying to come up with ways to look at it. He said he goes, yes, the ideas are there, but I don't have anything concrete to tell you guys.
Sure.
But he wants to take care of the people who are, selling the Coca-Colas and the Pepsi-Colas and cotton candies and everything else.
Think of all those people out of work. I said revenue loss. I didn't even think about the people who.
And this is billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And his reaction that he said on afterwards, it said, "This is crazy. This can't be true. This seems more like out of a movie than reality." Other crazy things. Vince Carter might have played his last NBA game. Why that's weird is because he has like 21 seasons under his belt. All right, quietly, and he hit a 3-pointer. That would going down as his last game could be. His season ended because of coronavirus. He hit a 3-pointer, walked off, and he's cool with it. He's like, it's such a weird night. He's thankful for each and every person. A 22-year journey, and he says, if this is really it, I thank everyone for your love and support for all these years. There's a lot more, looking onto this. It's something else to be like the overreaction of it.
Yeah. Well, somebody just commented, I keep thinking it's fake. Nobody said it's fake. It's obviously very real. But we're saying
no way.
Yeah, it's very real. Nobody's denying that it exists. But we're saying that the panic is being promoted. Like it's on purpose to create the more panic than what would be justified.
And I don't believe in that one bit, the purpose of a panic.
I do.
When do you panic?
Rarely. I have 2 kids.
No. What would be the tipping point for you to be like, all right, kids, Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, we're quarantined, we're good to go?
We're already quarantined. Like I said, I have 2 kids. We don't go anywhere ever, really, unless it's out to eat.
Whatever. Yeah, you went out to eat last night.
Yeah, we go out to eat. But that's about it. That's the extent, or like the movies or something like that. I don't know. I think that if let's see these percentages. God forbid they go up. I don't want them to go up, but that's what it would take. It would take
death percentage is what you're saying.
Death percentage. It would have to be insane. It would have to blow influenza out of the water for me to be that frightened.
We're not in that range, that age range.
No, we're not. And my kids aren't either. It's infants and elderly. There was a 103-year-old woman who just survived it naturally the other day. So it's and there's people that have it and don't even know they have it, and they survive it.
Yes.
So it's just another strain of influenza is how I'm seeing it.
Influenza on steroids, though.
Right.
It has been said, if we're going to talk about doctors.
It's pneumonia. They said it's influenza with pneumonia, basically. I've had pneumonia.
Okay.
I've had it. It's terrible. It's awful. It sucks. But I don't think that I'm going to go out and buy 18 packages of toilet paper and 40 bottled water packages either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My water's still running. Cable's still on. That's when I'm going to panic, was when the cable goes off. And I have to entertain my kids myself.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, the Big Ten canceled their tournament today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Big 12, SEC, ACC all canceled their tournament. So Selection Sunday is going to be a little bit different than before. Usually, you have your championship game. It's a big deal. It goes to your brackets. It's going to argue. You're going to argue.
Me?
The seeding, not you. Seedings for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
The argument is, do they have the NCAA tournament?
Aren't they talking? They're not. They're not gonna.
Well, no. The plan is still to have it. All right, but let's just take a look at it right now. Okay. Let's see. NCAA made yesterday. They decided to prohibit spectators from attending all of its upcoming championships, including men's and women's basketball tournament. That affects me. All right.
Yeah.
I was going to. All right, we got a phone call. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You're on the air, ESPN 1170.
What up, it's Serge?
Hey, what's up, Serge? How was the belly?
guys?
How was the belly of the beast in Iowa City hospitals?
Oh, I'm still driving right into it right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you wear your mask? Gotta be careful.
Stupid. Whole thing's stupid.
Thank you. I agree.
I heard we're canceling April.
Nah.
Yeah, April's canceled.
You gotta wait to do that on April Fools, my friend.
On April 1st, we will post. We just canceled the whole month.
1201.
No,
No, 1201. April 1. Social media post by everybody. April's been canceled by coronavirus.
What
April
if we
Fools,
all
yeah.
decide to cancel April? I mean, can they really tell us no? No, if we're all.
Two coronas. Two coronas hold the virus.
Yeah.
The fact that Jay, you were just saying the NCAA tournament is going to be canceled. Mark my word. It's dumb, but you have people on both sides of the fence saying, well, if there's one case here and there, they're just being precautionary, blah blah blah. But this is crazy. And then you were also mentioning the revenue loss by certain things. So the NCAA tournament already, with just having family being able to be at these games, I've actually done the math. Do you want to know what it is?
I would love to hear math. Stat cat.
All right, buddy. Here we go. do you have a guess, first of all, on how much revenue lost by the entire tournament?
How much revenue loss? Yes, I'd like to hear that.
Here we go. $480 million.
Holy.
$480 million.
Wow.
$500 million.
Okay.
Based on, you're talking travel, lodging,
Yeah.
expenses, tickets, everything, merchandise, beer, vendors, everything all together. It's $500 million. And then you guys were also mentioning the employees that are
Yes.
Yeah.
going to be out of their job.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Do you think that the
And
panic
baseball-
is necessary?
What's that?
Do you think the panic is necessary, Serge? Like, do you think that this is
No,
all validated
Do you know the last time I panicked?
before surgery?
I don't know either.
Yeah,
I don't know either. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think people are just taking this way too far.
And Bomber, I don't even have kids and I don't panic. You have two and you don't panic.
No, nope, not at all. My son was colicky, so I've survived the worst.
I mean, am I precautionary? Do I take? I don't
Yeah.
let people spit in my mouth.
Right.
I don't share my
Yeah.
drink.
Okay.
I wash my hands,
So
but I'm not going to freak out and lose my mind. I'm not going to.
Right.
How's this going to affect the bars this weekend? Oh, you're going to stop the drinkers this weekend? Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
okay. Yeah. Since we have you on the phone, that's a great point. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I did talk to T. Roy beforehand too, and he mentioned something. He just kind of hinted at it, and then I said, "All right, let me ask you a question." This was on the phone when I said to him, "I said, boots on the ground, ears to the mass. I said, are you hearing things that people think that they're not going to go out for this weekend for St. Patrick's Day or St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday?" And he said, "I'm hearing the same thing you are, which is nothing." So
We're going to hear a handful of people say, "I wonder if it's going to affect business." We're going to hear that a lot.
mhm.
But is it going to affect business? Absolutely not.
No, not locally anyway.
Want to know what's going to affect business? The weather. The weather is going to affect business. The coronavirus is not.
Well, somebody just said on the Don't Hassle Us for Local, the Harrington Pub's
Facebook comment there.
Yeah, they said it's all about not being sued, and that makes complete sense to me. These people are shutting down because they don't want lawsuits if somebody does contract it at one of their events.
And that's the other thing that I was going to get to about the NCAA is going to obviously have pressure to shut down if a player tests positive. But I want to go back to this weekend. The parade's been canceled,
Right.
which obviously is going to affect downtown Rock Island, downtown Davenport.
Sure.
Probably more than anybody else.
It helps me.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's the thing. Like, those are the ones that are being affected. where the parade,
Right.
people that go to the parade, they stick around, they have green beer afterwards, and start and end their day there. It's going to make a change.
Right.
I know.
It's very unfortunate for downtown because that does affect a lot of their business, and I have a lot of friends, family that are employed at a lot of these downtown locations. That this is going to be a difference for them, for revenue, for income, for some of these workers. That part is unfortunate. I don't want that. But
And that's one of the number one money days of the year for bartenders and bars.
Absolutely. I mean, there are people that have called off of their other jobs and made availability to work at these other jobs that now they might not have that shift. So that does suck for some of those people. But we've joked about this before, Jay. Want to know what my specials are that day? I'm going to be open.
What are your specials that day?
We're going to be open.
There you go.
Zombie apocalypse, or just we're open?
What are you guys doing for St. Patrick's Day? Opening.
We're going to be open. Yeah.
Serving liquor.
We're going to pour some drinks and we're going to take care of people.
Yeah, it was just by chance this morning that I grabbed the Quad City Times from yesterday, probably to put in the recycling bin. Got to take care of the earth.
Yeah.
And saw the thing of the parade that said will not be canceled.
And then it was canceled.
And then it was canceled. From print to that, they canceled it last night. It was overnight. Quad City Times is actually the one that had it on the doorstep before any other place around here that made a link and shared it, whatever else. The Times was on top of it. But
journalism is not dead.
But that was quick. It was really quick.
Right.
And
maybe we're even on the smaller scale of things. Chicago is canceling everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Chicago, they're not even dyeing the river green.
Mm-mm.
Dublin, Ireland cancels.
What?
I mean, I'm not kidding. Yes, they're canceling everything, everywhere.
Wow. Maybe March is canceled, guys.
But I'm just saying that I just don't think the world is in a panic. They can't all be wrong.
Well,
yeah, you can, because people are sheep, and people. If monkey see, monkey do. If monkey from the left goes and buys 800 rolls of toilet paper, monkey from the right's going to go buy 800 rolls of toilet paper because they might know something that I don't know, and that's what creates this. Thank you very much.
I am 100% with you when you guys are talking about the toilet paper pandemic now.
Right.
At Sam's Club and Costco, they're out. They're out of these items. You can only buy. As of a week ago, you could only buy a maximum of 5 cases of water. As of yesterday, you have a limit of 2 cases of water per customer on the way out the door. And they will take, if you have 3, they will take 1 off of your cart and put it back.
It's insane to me. I was telling Jay this morning, I'm like, what's wrong with tap water? He's like, because we're a bunch of spoiled beefs.
Right.
Yeah. But I drink tap water every day. Tap water's not going to be tainted, right? I mean, is it going to test positive?
Right.
Drink
so,
tap water.
like I said here, all I say is, be cautious, wash your hands, take care of yourself, be a little extra clean, do your due diligence in that, and then want to know what I'm going to do at 11:17. Jay, I'll announce it on there right now. I'll leave you guys are busy and got other stuff going on. So this Saturday, 11:17, $2 Coronas at 11:17. Stay clean, stay green at 11:17, if you know what I mean. How about that?
Does it come with free hand sanitizer?
Sure.
That is a great marketing idea right there. You just serve it with this little Purell.
All right.
Well, they are. Before I let you go, one last thing. Easer A's is saying, and I'm sure it's true, MLB suspended spring training.
Oh.
Okay, as of 10 minutes ago, they were canceling games, so I'm not surprised that it's suspended as of...
I'm not surprised either, because it's a matter of if one test and whatever else, and you got to... All right, thanks, Serge. I appreciate it. Hey, safe trip up to Iowa City. Clean bill health. Come back to us with 2 good wheels, okay?
You got it. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good day.
All right, you too, babe.
All right, so here's what you got to look at for the NCAA. And he said that he's no doubt they're going to cancel it.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot imagine March Madness, but it's not that it's not that it's out of the...
Nothing's too crazy right now.
Okay. So 9 early venues of the host cities for the NCAA. Dayton, Ohio. Spokane, Washington. Sacramento, California. St. Louis, Missouri. Omaha, Nebraska. Cleveland, Ohio. Tampa Bay, Florida. Albany, New York. Greensboro, North Carolina. The top 3 states are Washington, New York, and California with confirmed cases of COVID-19. All right?
Yeah.
Let's see. The other ones that we said, Florida is in the top 5. Georgia, number 7. Texas in the top 10. So right there, 6 out of the top 10 states. Sorry, 6 out of the top 9, because the Diamond Princess and the Grand Princess have the cruise ships have cases there. And Indiana's right around there. What?
No, I was just thinking, a friend of mine posted today that he got round trip. Allegiant is selling tickets from Moline to Florida for $29.
I'm in.
I know.
Yeah.
Now's the time to travel, people.
Again, as of 2 days ago, the total cases in the United States were 605.
Uh-huh.
As of last night at 7 o'clock, it had doubled.
Mm-hmm.
Deaths had gone from 22 as of March 9th, 8 o'clock p.m., our time, have gone from 22 to 36 within 49 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's going to spike. It's going to get higher, but
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
yeah, they've got to
That's what
curb it, though.
everything
I don't.
does.
The baseball thing, I knew that was going to happen, but I don't know where my panic level is. I think I'm just more in the right now. My level is that one of I don't know. It's still 100%. It is still just me. I don't look at it on a political thing. I don't look at it like this. I don't look at people are crazy. I don't do any of that. I just go, holy shit. This is really happening.
Yeah.
And what kind of world am I living in that there's no March Madness and there's no NBA,
This is
and the
history.
MLB? It is 100% history.
Making history. I mean, our kids. We're going to talk about this for generations to come. About how remember when the corona, when all the sports were canceled, and if it ever happens again in our kids' lifetimes, they're going to refer back to this as well. It's never going to go away. I mean, this is always going to be a part of history now.
So the other thing, when you guys just said like, what's with the toilet paper? And I'm like, well, if people feel they're quarantined, they're going to need toilet paper. But they see one and like Serge said, and you said it too, when they see one person buy it,
Monkey see,
buy
monkey
it,
do.
they do it. And
That's human nature.
It reminds me of being at we'll do a shameless plug for Rhythm City Casino Elite Sportsbook. And you're in line, and all of a sudden someone's like, you hear one guy go, East Tennessee State -7, and you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, right. What do they know that I don't know? Exactly.
And then you're like, I don't know about East Tennessee State. I don't know anything. I'm not betting East
But
Tennessee
this guy
State.
probably does.
I don't know anything. No. And then the second guy goes, and you go, oh, East Tennessee State -7 sounds good. Why are they doing it? And then if you're smart enough, you know the public. And this actually, East Tennessee State -7 actually did come up, I think, on Monday. And I talked to Hannah in line at Elite Sportsbook and said something like, I'm going to salt and pepper some things here and there. And she goes, oh, well, BYU is a popular bet. I go, I don't like that bet. She goes, yeah. I go, I heard some people talking East Tennessee State, but I'm not following the public. East Tennessee State covered.
No.
But yeah, I didn't follow it because I'm like, no. But it is funny because why are you buying toilet paper? And then the next person goes, well, why not?
Right.
We're all going to be quarantined. And the person goes, you know what? You're right.
Do you think Amazon's going to stop delivering? Because I'm on a monthly subscription.
I guarantee you not.
Okay, we're good to go.
I guarantee you. Well, we do, and this is all fascinating talk, and I love it. We do need to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I'm going to look at the NBA and why this might have been a planned break by the NBA and why it can be NBA's benefit in the future is what I'm going to explain to you, Bomber, and see what your thought is, okay?
Okay, awesome.
You got something for me to read there, kiddo?
Which one?
You pick one and go.
All right. For nearly 12 years, Pints has been providing the Quad Cities with some of the best beer, drinks, and good times around. Join them Monday through Friday for happy hour 3 to 6 and enjoy complimentary Vans Pizza at 5 p.m. Stop in any day of the week for one of their daily specials. Pints, 5268 Utica Ridge Road in Davenport.
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Now is the time to get in on the action with Elite Sportsbook.
Receive a 50% match on your first online deposit up to $200 for all brand new accounts now through May 31st. Sign up at Rhythm City Casino Resort or Riverside Casino and Golf Resort to qualify for the new account deposit match. Visit EliteSportsbook.com for complete details and restrictions. Then start betting on your phone anywhere in Iowa. Get in on the action with Elite Sportsbook. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Make your next new or used purchase a slam dunk at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll have the full court press advantage each and every time. You'll be treated like a star from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce the show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Checkers has a new mix and match 2 for $3 deal. You can get 2 hot and spicy chicken sandwiches, 2 delicious crispy fish sandwiches, or switch it up with one of each for just $3. We're talking $3 for flaky wild-caught Alaskan pollock and tender crave-worthy chicken with a kick. No matter what you're hungry for, we've got you covered. No need to thank us. Mix and match 2 Checkers spicy chicken or crispy fish sandwiches for just $3. Get Checkers delivered.
Escúchame, it is Dan Levatación, ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old and doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Levitard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, dented siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities.
Your station for every W. Chicago Cubs baseball is only heard on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to ESPN 1170. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local, brought to you by Dunright TV and Security Solutions. And we're talking about, you guessed it, coronavirus.
Jeff
COVID-19.
He goes, what up, coronavirus survivors?
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
See, we're all survivors.
Hey, and feel free, 391-3776, if you want to call in and talk to us about the coronavirus and tell us either if we're way off or if you think it's just an overreaction. Again, I'm trying to wage where I'm at, Bomber. I have this holy SHIT moment with the NBA, and then, of course, everybody else who jumped out of their recliners and said, like, Tom Hanks has it?
No!
This is it.
America's sweetheart.
Now it's serious. Okay, before we went to break, we know that the NBA suspended their season. And I said,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why I think either one, not planned, I said planned, but what's the word I'm looking for? Just the opportunity knocked, and they ran with it, okay? I
Right.
think they were looking for a reason to suspend play. I think it's
Really?
yes. I think it was a matter of it's not a big deal, and I'm going to tell you why. If you remember, on Monday or Tuesday, I talked to you about how that there was a panel going on at the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference that happened. And the Atlanta Hawks CEO Steve Conan proposed starting the NBA season mid-December rather than mid-October. All right? I'm going to remind everybody what I told you on Tuesday, what I read to you. The shift would allow the NBA to avoid having to compete with the NFL and college football's regular seasons, which it currently does for the first 2.5 months of each campaign. It would also result in the NBA Finals taking place in August rather than June, giving the league an opportunity to dominate more of the summer months when the only other show in town is baseball. Now you look at that.
Yeah.
NBA hasn't said, we're just wiping off these games, because it's 2 weeks right now.
Right.
These guys all have to be quarantined. They're not saying we're wiping them off the schedule. They have not come out and said what the plan is.
Reschedule them, maybe.
Now they can
I think they will.
reschedule them, push the finals back, and now you have this prototype, this test of like, look at how good our ratings were in August. Now you say like only 2 weeks are going to go. But for reference, when the virus broke out in China, the Chinese Basketball Association suspended play in late January. It plans to resume in early April, a 10-week layoff. That's what they did in China.
Okay.
So right now they're saying it's going to be 2 weeks because of quarantine, but the virus lasts longer. There's people that are undetected, whatnot. This could really work out in their favor.
Oh, yeah.
Of a prototype of saying we're going to resume all the ticket sales, pre-sales. They're all scanned.
Yeah.
It's not like the date and you come in and you're like, oh, no, that one says April 2nd. You had to be here April 2nd. They're scanned. You move it back there, do some work. Have your employees work from home to change all the scan codes, the QR codes, or whatever else. Now they get to do the NBA Finals in August at a time when their only show in town is Major League Baseball, which we don't even know what's going to be going on there because
They
right
just
now
suspended
spring training.
Yeah.
So, as much as you have conspiracies in you, I have a conspiracy in me.
Yeah.
This is what I think the NBA was like. Let's suspend it.
All right. I
And
don't
they
think
go,
you're
what?
wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all.
And you trying to tell me that the first game back, the ratings won't be through the roof? Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They're going
All
to
right.
make up for lost time.
We got a caller.
Oh, boy.
All right. You're on ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle so local. Who do we got?
Foster.
Yeah.
This is Chopper.
Chopper. Chopper from Locals Love Us. How you doing, my friend? Chopper.
Hey, I'm doing good.
Okay.
That's quite the theory that you have, but I think it's quite the stretch.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Why is that?
I mean, because it's not opportunistic. It just happened.
But they had a choice. It didn't just happen. It didn't, they had to actually discuss and plan out.
Oh, Chopper, they had ideas of what they were going to do if they're going to shut it down. It just happened that they had to shut it down right now because someone tested positive. MLB is already talking about what they're going to do. They've been in talks well before they decided to shut down spring break. MLB at Seattle already has to change theirs. San Francisco's looking to see what they're doing the first 2 weeks. Oakland A's as well. MLB is already they're being proactive.
Yes.
I agree.
It
You
just
don't
provided
know-
the opportunity, like
Chopper.
Joe said.
Quite the stretch. The
No.
conspiracy
Silver
theory
is
quite the stretch.
right. No. Silver is right there with trying to find different ways to tweak things and whatever else. This is it's opportunity knocking, and they said, you know what, we can run with this, and it might work. Why wouldn't you?
Yep.
I love it. Jay. I just don't think it's quite the stretch.
He
I
loves
love
it. He
it.
just
Let's
doesn't
go
agree
on.
with you.
Yeah, I know you're not disagreeing with me.
Oh.
Did he hang up on us?
He's mad.
Did he hang up on us like that?
He
says it's quite the stretch and just says, that's it, I'm out.
Click.
Drops the mic.
Bye. Did he have a home phone? Because that was aggressive.
This is like right up the alley of like David Stern, and Silver's right there with him. He likes to do these things and mix things up. I feel strongly that it's behind closed doors. It's like, this is not a bad idea.
No,
and going
I agree.
back to it,
I think
let's
so.
see.
100%.
When I said, look, I just
You're
read
going to
it.
capitalize on any kind of pandemic. People are capitalizing on it left and right. Costco right now is capitalizing. You don't think that they're going to give...
Going back to what I said on Tuesday, what I read to you. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Quote, Evan Wash, the NBA Senior VP of Strategy and Analytics. We certainly have no issue with reconsidering the calendar. We're open to that. There's no magic to the season going from October to June, meaning what we've done, it's no precedent. There's no way that it works this way.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already saying, analytics says like we have no issue reconsidering the calendar. It's the other thing to be like, hey boss, this thing's kind of crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what we could do?
No.
Well, if something happens, we could suspend it for a while,
Yeah.
and we could see what our numbers are like in October and August.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you're thinking there, Evan.
Yeah. Go Evan.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. And that's why Evan is NBA Senior VP of Strategy and Analytics. Because he looked ahead of this thing and said, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And we're going to capitalize this and whatnot. I don't know. You think you say I'm off. He
No.
says it's a stretch, and he says he loves it.
I disagree. I disagree with Choppa. I don't agree with you, Choppa.
Yeah, I didn't say it was the smartest thing I've ever come up with, but I looked at it and I was like, you know what?
But it makes sense. And
Something.
come on, everything's business. Everything you can capitalize on everything. Everybody, no matter what happens.
If you were looking at $450 million lost by the NCAA, and the VP of Analytics and Strategy, he knows what they're losing.
Absolutely, more than anybody.
Now the revenue, he can go down there, and someone can say like, I lost this much. Like, if you're an advertiser, I lost this much, and you come back and you go, but think of what we're going to gain. There's nobody else in town during
Right.
this big deal. In the NHL, I don't know what they're doing right now. They're going to catch hell if someone comes down with something because we're going to monitor it. But if you sit there and say like, hey, hold tight with us because you're going to see the ratings is going to be at the highest peak.
It will
First
be.
off, we're going to have LeBron in the finals.
Yep.
All right, that's going to be a big deal. We'll have him in there, so that's going to be high. And Greek
Yeah.
Freak.
The Greek Freak. I think you're correct. I agree with everything you're saying right now. I think that it was definitely capitalized on, and I don't think they're making a mistake. I think it was a very smart move on their part.
It's going to be a crazy 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I say 10 weeks, just because of Chinese Basketball Association, which, by the way, I don't want to give them too much, the 10 weeks, but I am a little bit pissed off about them as well. Their Chinese Basketball Association is floating around the idea of giving a lifetime ban to any United States player that doesn't return back in early April when they resume. No, Chinese Basketball Association. That doesn't work. You can't give someone a lifetime
No
ban just because
CBA.
they don't want the COVID-19.
Right. No, and I think that's a lawsuit waiting to happen too.
Well, I don't think that'll hold up in the Chinese court of law.
Ben said anticipation will bring the masses. That's exactly what we were just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be through the roof.
Agreed, Ben. Yeah, absolutely.
So-
they're gonna make more, I think, than they would have not doing so, or just doing it normally, not canceling anything. I think they're gonna
It's
make
the
more.
whole human nature. As much as people can be like rude and me first, when it all sets in, and then they start going like, those people who didn't get paid, they didn't make money.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go, even though it's hourly wager. But the people around there, at the taverns and all the place, the tips and everything else at those arenas, be like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do my part as a human being, a good person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go spend some money there.
Show some humanity.
I'm gonna go to the bar and I'm gonna tip them and everything else.
Yeah.
And it's all gonna set in, and it's gonna boost up.
Yep. People are gonna make up for lost time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I
think it's gonna happen. I think you're right.
Not every once in a while am I just do I have aha moments.
You're not just a pretty face, Jay.
Yeah, I'm not quite the complete moron that some people think I am, I guess. But it is again will it set into you if and it's Thursday and I can recklessly speculate. Do you go on spring? Do the kids go on spring break this week?
Next week.
So they go to school
Wait,
next week?
I think. God, I don't even know.
Bomber.
They're never in school anyway. Like, I tell you, these kids have more. We had to go to school way more than they did.
Everybody says that.
No, it's true. And I had to walk 3 miles uphill in this. I didn't have to do that. I'm just kidding. But no, they never have school. It's like they get every holiday. There's not even a holiday off. It's crazy. But yeah, I think next week. I'm not sure. I'm not so whatever. Soon.
You need to find out.
I know.
I am going to recklessly speculate.
Okay.
My kids go on spring break starting tomorrow.
Why on a Friday?
Because
Teachers in service? Don't even start.
It's in the teachers' conference because what they do is they're working extra hours afterwards for parent-teacher conference, so it makes up a day.
All right. Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. This is
Sure.
it. I mean, I'm not going to go through the union agreement
Yeah.
that goes on, but this is why they have Friday off. So teacher in service.
I'm going to recklessly speculate.
You're going to recklessly speculate.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah. You're going to recklessly speculate. All right. I'm going to recklessly speculate that my kids do not return to school the Monday they're supposed to.
You think that they're going to postpone it for the coronavirus?
I do believe so.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking for a part-time nanny. If anybody out there listening wants to take care of 2 kids.
Look at when I tell you these numbers in just 2 days. All right?
Yeah, it's doubled.
Yes. When I told you 2 days ago, New York was at 142 confirmed cases. They're at 220 now. Washington was at that time 128. They've gone all the way up to 366 just in 2 days. California, 104 to 177. Florida doubled up from 14 to 28 in just in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Georgia went from 10 to 23. Texas, 14 to 21. Iowa, 3 to 13 in 48 hours.
Infected or deaths?
No, just cases. Yes.
Cases. Okay,
Yes.
so I mean,
The deaths have only gone up 14 nationwide from 22 to 36.
there you go, Dale. 14 nationwide. So this is what I'm taking. But we got Derek on here, and he keeps bantering back and forth with Dale and I. Yeah, but show me how many cases of influenza there are right now versus just because this is a new strain, people are freaking out because it's a name they don't recognize, and there's no cure. There's no cure for influenza either. Like, settle down. You can get your flu shot, take your vitamins, get your airborne, drink your water, wipe your butt. You're fine.
It's a big deal, these numbers, Bomber. I mean, look.
It's
tell you
infected,
what,
it's not deaths. You're going to survive. You're going to be fine. Even if you get coronavirus. Like, I'm almost willing to go
Tell
get
you what,
the
Ohio doesn't play around.
coronavirus just to show that you can recover and be just fine.
I like places like Ohio. Ohio doesn't play around. 2 days ago, they didn't have any confirmed cases. They have 4. Before that, in between, Ohio's like, we're shutting it all down. They're not playing around. Missouri has 1. They didn't. Yeah,
because
they stayed at
nobody
1.
goes to those places on purpose.
Well, they do host the site for the NCAA tournament, so it's kind of important. Okay. That's why. This is why I have these highlighted. I can go through more, but these are why I have these ones. Massachusetts went from 24 to 95. Colorado went from 8 to 34 to jump up into the top 5.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. When I look at these numbers, I'm like, oh, dear Lord. And yes, they're confirmed cases. They're not deaths or anything like that. I realize who the people are probably going to, whatever else. And I tell you what else. I'm not afraid of it. It's not going to stop me from going out and celebrating St. Patrick's Day if I want to. Choose to do whatever you want. I'm not afraid of it. I have a superior immune system. I don't need the flu shot.
I don't ever get the flu shot.
It's not because of any type of thing that no one tells me what to put in my body or anything like that. I'm like, unless the only time I think about getting a flu shot is when Hy-Vee flashes 25-cent fuel saver in front of me. And I'm like, you know what? I should get a flu shot so I can save 25 cents off a gallon of gas. That's the only time.
Okay, so he said that the influenza deaths are less than 1%. That is false. There were 61,000 people died in 2017 to 18 flu season, and 30,000 2019 to 2020. 30,000. How many deaths so far worldwide? 3,000 something for coronavirus?
I don't know.
This is what gets me riled up is when these people throw out false numbers and false percentages, and this is what really gets people scared. This is what spreads the fear mongering, and this is what I don't like. I can look up these facts real easy. I mean, the internet is a wonderful place to find information.
But that's the other thing we tell you about. They can too. The internet is a persuasive argument that they can find whatever they want, and they can create links, and they can say like, well, here, read this. And that doesn't mean they read the whole thing. It's a persuasive argument, Bomber.
Yeah.
You can find anything you want that's going to find.
Absolutely. There's going to be biased information out there and contradictory information out there. Of course. Absolutely. Be saying the death rate is less than 1%. Common sense tells me that is not a correct number because the coronavirus is 3%. So let's go ahead and look this up. Go ahead.
You go ahead and look it up.
I'm going to right now.
We're going to take a break. We got Doug doesn't know what he walked into. We got Doug
Hi,
Bland from the Quad City Steamwheelers in with us. He was in last week. We're going to take a look at. We're going to recap the game from last week. We're going to talk about some of the games that are coming up this week. Overrunners, and he's got fascinating stories. And we're going to talk to him about coronavirus. And as a business owner,
6.9%. Sorry,
it's okay. Don't apologize. It's fine. As someone who owns a sporting team, what that's like, what you have to look at with things like this, and how you're proactive. So we're going to talk to Doug when we come back. First, Bomber, read that for me.
All right. Tim Hernandez wants you to focus on new and fun ways to get fit for yourself and your family. ID Life wants you to be healthier, have more energy, get better sleep, and achieve more focus. ID Life is a health and wellness company that is revolutionizing the industry with customized nutrition. The ID Life name stands for Individually Designed Life and was founded on the principle that no two people are alike. So everyone has unique nutritional needs. Tim Hernandez is your guy in the Quad Cities to offer you personalized guidance that is tailored specifically to your health factors and personal goals. Do you have health problems that may be holding you back? The doctors and scientists develop what nutrients you should be taking and what supplements will benefit you the most. Go to qchealth.idlife.com to sign up for an unconditional, no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee. Call Tim Hernandez today at 563-508-7221 so he can show you what makes ID Life different is you.
This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
At Casey's, we're here for traditions like game night or movie night, and for making them a little more special with a tradition of our own. Casey's Classic Taco Pizza, made fresh with delicious, high-quality ingredients and baked right in our store. And every day this month, you can get a large taco pizza for just $13.99. So order a taco pizza from Casey's and make your tradition more special, even if it's just a last-minute dinner. Casey's, here for traditions, here for good. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Roy, who is feeling older every day, and I think this is universal for people in sports, that you sort of can calendar your own age by guys you saw growing up playing when you loved sports, having kids who are now playing sports. But Roy has never felt older than he did during the break when, very sadly, he just said to me, Frank Gore's kid has enrolled at Southern Miss, and it's the first time you can remember an active athlete of any sort having a kid, but it's only because Frank Gore has been in the league 4 yards at a time since 1982.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Why would you when you get stuck at 4 yards?
Frank Gore Jr. is going to put it on the poll, Antonio. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to retire from football sooner than Frank Gore Sr.?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot!
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Golick and Wingo.
Here's my thought on Magic not being with the Lakers anymore.
He wants to be Magic Johnson, and you know what? That's cool.
Being
Magic Johnson works. Wasn't the greatest ending how they were all throwing each other under the buses and stuff? I'm not all cool with a lot of that. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to do this anymore because you want to be Magic Johnson and free to be Magic Johnson, man, I am cool with that because that's a pretty damn good life.
That's living your best life.
Yes.
Golick and Wingo. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
G&G Retailers is the Quad Cities gun shop for sales, service, and supplies. Stop in now for their huge tax refund sale. Put your tax refund to work. Now is the time to take advantage of these massive discounts. Browse G&G's extensive selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns. Take advantage of their in-house gunsmith, and they are now taking orders for hydro dipping. Don't miss this limited tax refund sale. G&G Retailers on the corner of 17th Street and Division in Davenport.
Golick and Wingo.
I don't know if I've ever felt worse for a kid in the league than Josh Rosen right now. Obviously, he was put into a horrible situation last year in Arizona where the team decided we're just going to go all in and reboot again the next year. He gets traded to Miami. It's like deja vu for him. He's going through this all again, and it's such an awful situation. We may never know what Josh Rosen could or could not have been because of the two situations he's found himself in his first 2 years.
Golick and Wingo. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Spring sports at Augustana College fight Midwest weather and their game day opponents. Baseball and softball, tennis and golf, lacrosse and track and field. Spring break trips are on the horizon, and then all teams will be coming to a field, court, or course near you. Men's volleyball continues their season when they welcome Loris on March 28th at the Carver Center. For more information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
On your radio, on your phone, on Alexa. Hear and talk about the Chicago Cubs on the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, we're local here on ESPN 1170 AM. We're live here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright TV and Security. Before we get into it, let me tell you about Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. Bayside Bistro is not your ordinary sandwich shop. You won't find deli meat on their menu. They use fresh ingredients and orders are made from scratch. From paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy to the roasted beet and green bean salad, Bayside Bistro has an incredible menu that specializes in deliciousness. Don't forget about their smoothies and fresh juices that they make in their incredible dinner entrees, and also their gourmet popcorn that when we had Letitia and Daryl on, they talked about it. You guys can get all kinds of flavors. You can hit them up and go to Facebook, message them there, find out what they have to offer. And if you're going to, let's just say you're going to quarantine yourself with some popcorn, watch some movies, might as well get some gourmet popcorn. Anyway, don't just take our word for it. Check out their Facebook page and read over the 500 recommendations from guests. Stop by Bayside Bistro today at 1105 Christie Street in the East Village of Davenport. If you're having any catering needed, you're hosting private events, go ahead and get a hold of them as well. And there are gluten-free and plant-based diet menu options as well that is locally owned, and we're all about supporting local. And speaking of local, we've got Doug Blandon, the owner of the Quad City Steamrollers. Doug, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good. It's great to have you in. Last week we had you in, and we just went like down a rabbit hole of all kinds of conversations as far as like things that you've done before and like going down and meeting offshore gambling places and AK-47s, but we also got to talk about the Steamwheelers as well, and we'll get to that as well. Obviously, the top of a conversation that you walked into is about the coronavirus, in a matter of like where, I guess it's all a personal thing, okay? And that's, I think, what Bomber and I have been talking the most about. Where is your personal threat level midnight at? Some people, obviously take it to the extreme, and they're hoarding stuff, and they're getting toilet paper and non-perishable items, and they think it's second coming of, I don't know, the end of the world. I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah, the rapture. Thank you. And Bomber says it's just the flu and do whatever. I have a weird outlook on things, and I wish I had more of a, I wish I had more of like a political stance, like this is right, but I don't. It's really everything right now. I just keep getting hit with all the stuff being canceled, and I'm just like, this is insane. So I think I'm trying to absorb it all in, but I don't have a panic. I just think it's absolutely crazy, and I just can't grasp how did it get to this and why we're canceling all these things. I mean, I get why we're canceling these things. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I am the one that just went through the numbers. I'm the one that just said, like, here's how it doubles here in this 48 hours and everything. But it just to get to this level is kind of crazy. What do you think about what's going on, Doug?
So obviously I've got a lot to lose from this thing blowing up like it is, and the way that the media has jumped on it and made it kind of freak everybody out. But from the numbers that I've read, it's supposed to be 20 to 30 times more deadly than the flu. But obviously we don't even know how many people have it because there's not enough testing to do it all. And
right,
those numbers might be times 10. We don't even know it yet, because you can have a very mild version of it that the symptoms aren't showing up in yourself, but you can still pass it on to someone else, and then they might get the symptoms that are really bad. So at the end of the day, my parents are 75 and 76 years old, and I have to put myself thinking, do I want my parents exposed to this? Because they're the ones that are really susceptible to it, and pregnant women, and different things that people have outlying medical conditions. And my mom's diabetic, and So
Compromised immunity.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't. I'd rather be precautious, but here I am, the guy who's my business is going to crumble from it.
I think to your point about your parents, that's the one thing I think of. I just think about parents. I'm not worried about my kids. I'm not worried about me. I just say, okay, where is it at in confirmed cases? Then I'm going to worry about them. That's where it should. Now, when you have to, as a business owner, you have to be proactive and look ahead at this. And it's obviously, it's not something that sounds good right now. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, they're currently playing the MVC women's tournament at the Mark, the Tax Layer. I do this all the time. Tax Layer Center.
It's the Mark. You say that. It's fine.
Yeah, Tax Layer Center. So and you said, like, business crumble. I don't like to hear that. No one wants to hear that. And that is the honestly goodness thing. We can talk about people that are working in the Oracle for the Golden State Warriors, but we've got someone sitting in studio whose business is a sport.
Correct. Yeah.
Is in the sports. It's in the indoor football league, and it's in an arena or a center, the Tax Layer Center, and it relies on people coming in. So it doesn't really. It's great if a team gets to play, but is it great if no one gets to come in the door?
So I'm a pretty transparent guy. Budgets for the IFL teams range anywhere from $550,000 to $1.5 million is what it takes to run one of these teams. If you're in a city like San Diego or Phoenix, Arizona, those guys are running budgets around $1.5 million, $1.2 million. Here we're more like $550,000 to $600,000. So for us to break even, we have to generate $600,000 worth of revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So if our season gets shortened, if we miss home games, if we play in front of an empty stadium, that means no revenue is generated from ticket sales, and ticket sales comprise of about 60% of our budget. So, if our budget's $600,000 and $350,000 of it is ticket sales and $250,000 of it is sponsorship revenue, that's the only revenue we get. NBA and Major League Baseball, they have revenue they get off their television rights, their streaming rights. Yeah. They have all kinds of different revenue streams that we do not have the luxury of at our access, obviously, because we're a minor league sport.
Right.
Even like the River Bandits, they're subsidized by the Houston Astros. Their payroll is paid by the Houston Astros. They don't have to worry about that kind of thing. We have to pay the payroll. We have to do the workman's compensation fees. I mean, all that stuff is 100% on my shoulders. So,
and that's from revenue.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if we have, just say that hypothetically we miss 2 home games, now I have 7 home games to generate my $600,000, and now if I only have 5 home games to generate that kind of revenue, you can see where that model's going.
Right. And that's the thing that bothers me the most about this, is that the consequences are very real.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
The financial consequences for people such as yourself, they're very real. So when I see all of this happening and everything getting canceled, and my common sense, yes, it's real. We understand it's real. It's a threat, of course. Nobody's saying that it's not real. People aren't dying. But is it worth all of what they're doing right now?
Well, you just got to put what's people's lives valued at. I mean,
I don't think it's lives, though. I think we've already discussed that when people who contract, it's a 99.7% survival rate. So it's not lives necessarily. How many elderly people are going to these games? How many people with compromised immune systems are out in public as much as?
We have a pretty diverse crowd. I mean, we have a lot of grandma and grandpas in the crowd. We have a lot of younger people in the crowd. I mean, my parents come to the games. I mean, there's a lot of people that come to they love their steam wheelers. So
don't you think that they should be allowed to choose whether or not they come, rather than?
Well, that's in today's world. It's not about what we want to choose. It's what the lawyers can sue us for. So at the end of the day,
and that's what we talked about earlier. It comes down to lawsuits.
Yeah, I mean, we could do everything right.
Because you force someone to work in a atmosphere.
Here, think about it this way. All right, so the city of Moline owns the Tax Layer Center. If every sports franchise or league, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, if they're all canceling events and we say screw it, we're doing our own thing. We're going to do whatever we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we go in there and we have a game, and say 5 people get the virus from our game, then do you think they're going to have an attorney come Monday morning that's going to be suing the city of Moline, the Taxslayer Center, and the Quad City Steamwheelers?
I don't agree with that either. I think that you assume the risk, then you assume the risk. I don't think that anybody else is liable for your own decisions.
I agree with you 100%, but tell that to an attorney that's going to be sending you that letter.
Yeah.
All right. Where you're stepping on is a change in things that have happened, and I want to come up with the year, but I can't. We no longer live in a buyer beware market. We live in a seller beware market.
Yeah. Take dram shop insurance for a bar owner.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so the buyer beware used to be that it was always like, hey, you should have known what you were getting when you bought it, either a ticket, or a product or anything like that, and it turned into the seller beware because you didn't tell them that. Let's just look at if you ever watch. You ever see any of those commercials for anything? I don't know. Even if it's for erectile dysfunction, it'll be things like if you can walk upright, if you know the difference between AM and PM, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you can do your ABCs, like they go through everything, right down the thing, because all of a sudden it's a seller beware and someone sues them for something.
Well, you just put that in the fine writing, just like in everything else. Just like when you sign a cell phone contract, they're not liable. If you decide, like 14 days, and if it's on the day 15, then you're liable for a 24-month contract. Same thing with these tickets. Put it on there that there is the threat of this, and if you choose to buy this ticket and attend, then you are liable.
I came from the racing industry for most of my career.
It's a written agreement.
It's not a written agreement.
Yeah.
If they say
it's a tacit agreement, and it's not a pullable in court of law. It's not 1976 anymore.
But if you put a warning on a label and they get hurt by it, they can't sue.
Let me tell you, coming from the racing industry, there's what they call a pit pass waiver that you sign every time you go into a race, like either in the pits and it says, I understand that auto racing is a dangerous sport. I understand that I could be maimed and killed by anything that happens here, and I'm signing my name to this. And I've been sued probably 10 times of people who sign that waiver.
Well, you're going to still get sued, but isn't that going to help you defend?
Well, they don't sue me. They sue my insurance company that represents the racetrack that I owned or the and then what happens is they have to go defend that.
Right.
And they said to themselves, all right, it's going to cost us $25,000 to defend this, or it's going to cost us $100,000 to defend this. We'll just write a check for $50,000 to get rid of this guy and have him send down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And now your premiums are just going to go through the roof. And and it's not a matter of if it's someone's liable or if it's a matter of can they get away with it and can they do it and can they make money off
Everybody's going to try.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to.
And they're going to say, look, that's gross negligence. If the NBA and everybody else canceled their events and you didn't, then
that's a point.
Then
too,
you're doing something that everyone else is. You're going against the grain of what everybody else is. So you put us in a bad situation.
Right.
And that's what we brought up about the NHL when I said I can't believe the NHL is just not folding it in.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're just going to continue to monitor it, which is fine. Honestly, that's an okay response. But like Doug said, someone's going to step up and be like, what? This isn't possible. And I am worried about the NCAA tournament. I really am. I can't imagine not having a March Madness.
So as of right now, they're just playing it without the fans, correct?
Yeah. Can you? I mean, that's just gonna be so weird to watch on TV.
Bet the unders, right?
Do you know how much money they're gonna make off of the television, right? It's gonna be crazy.
Are they gonna charge now?
Let's have a great question about this: social distancing. Okay. How much is this really going to happen? And how much is your local, and I'm not even saying a bar, I'm talking about your chain, your Buffalo Wild Wings, in those areas, because no matter what, they were going to be here, okay? And if you're in this area, in the Quad Cities, you're still going. If you had a trip to go, I don't care. You can call me and tell me, nuh-uh. But if you had a trip planned with your boys to go to Vegas, you're still going for March Madness. Do you know what I'm saying?
When I leave here.
And no one's going to turn. And if you turn around in this year, you finally took a step back and you're like, I've been to Vegas this many years, but I'm going to go to the casinos and I'm going to go to the sports book. You're not turning around going, if it's packed, I'm not going in there. No one around here is going to go, nuh-uh. But I do think that people are still going to travel to those distances. I think they'll be in St. Louis. I just think they'll flock to the bars around the area.
Some of them will, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of money involved with that. And if you can't really go to the game, I mean, the best seat in the house to me is on my couch watching it on my, on my 65-inch big screen.
Well, I don't own a football team, Doug. It's not like I don't have a 65-inch TV, but I think like no. All right, so in my instance, for example, I got credentialed to cover the NCAA wrestling tournament up in Minneapolis. Now that has been
canceled.
Yes, not the tournament, but no fans, and they said essential people only. I don't really think I fall under that essential umbrella, but there has been no word that the media can't go. I'm in the middle of am I going to go? Am I not? Is it going to be weird? They haven't even moved it from the stadium. It was going to be where the Vikings play. I can't imagine wrestling in that huge stadium
with no fans.
Oh my gosh.
I just can't. So I don't know if they're going to move it to the barn on the campus of University of Minnesota. So I don't know, like, we're in my situation, I'm like, I need to reach out. We have to find out if they're going to allow media. Now, I wouldn't. If I was a coach, I'd say, nah, I'd rather not. If they do, we're going to put them up on a stage. One, they're half naked. Their pores are wide open from sweat and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I would say, for me, it's kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen for that, and I don't know if I'm going to go, but I know that I'm not going to. We already had it scheduled that we weren't going to be in the air Thursday, Friday because I was going to be up there for that. And
so
now,
last night was the game changer to me, though.
Okay.
Rudy Gobert comes down with it. Now today, 2 of his teammates have it. You know, the referee who was that refereed the game with Rudy Gobert like 3 nights ago was going to be the referee last night in the Sacramento Kings game. They pull him off the court. Think about all those guys who are in that. They fly a private jet to these games. So if Rudy Gobert's in there and is 2 of his teammates, there's 3 guys on that plane to have it. You're coughing, talking, playing cards. You're doing all this stuff. They could have a whole entire team that's got it.
Oh, the worst place is an enclosed airplane.
They pulled that. We went through it. There were 10 teams. First off, they played 6 other teams in the last 10 days, and then they had 2 others that they pulled, and the ones before that they're quarantined. That's 10 teams, and 8. We were up to 8, and then at 12 probably on the bench, up and from starters to bench, right? And then you got anywhere from 6 to 10 coaches,
you got
trainers,
coaches and assistant coaches and ball boys, and I mean, you could have 40 people on that plane that now have this thing, and now they're coming home to their kids and their wife, and they're going to see their grandparents. Or I mean, we don't know enough about this to really understand the real scope of it. I mean,
and that's just it. That's what I want to say and reiterate is that none of us know. And all these people panicking, they don't know. All of us not panicking, we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody.
But when a league like the NBA and the NCAA, which is, you know, they print money, when they set the narrative,
yes,
everyone else pretty much has to follow suit, or you're the jerk. You know,
you're gonna fall in line.
You're the liability at that point.
Yep, I agree.
Going back to your point, Doug, about it. So the Jazz, the team that were forced to stay in Oklahoma City hotel, they're making plans to travel back to Salt Lake City, but they're going to take the test, and it's going to probably include 2 planes back, a positive test charter plane and a negative charter plane.
Mm-hmm.
To stop.
Like the mark of the beast, you got to get on the positive plane.
So think about this
Isn't
from
that
a
creepy?
guy like me who was so I have 22 guys that I house here, my players. Okay, if they were to get it, they all live together in apartments, right? I mean, I could have I could have 22 players with this thing. It's $2,800 to get the test done right now.
Oh boy.
You know, think about the financial ramifications of some of this stuff. That, granted, the NBA people, they have trade deals with every doctor in their community that will do everything for free. But little guys like us, we don't have that luxury. So
and that's not covered by insurance.
No, my insurance that I cover is just workman's comp for football injuries and stuff like that. We don't, you know, these guys are all independent contractor football players. So, you know, if they were to
1099ers.
Yeah, if they get a you know, some kind of a virus or something, there's no health insurance at sports at this level
unless they have their own individual.
Right.
Gotcha.
It's going to be weird because we already talked about Selection Sunday is going to be a little bit different. There was always talk of, you know, Monday, Monday's usually like the most wasted day at work because of a water cooler, because everyone's doing their brackets and everything else. But I also think like, well, I mean, are they going to be at work? I don't know anymore. So that's gonna be strange. Do you, Doug? Do you follow the NCAA? Do you watch the March Madness? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not to brag, but I'm the 2-time defending office pool champ 2 years in a row.
There you go.
Nice.
I remind the coach of that all the time.
Pork chop.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do if they suspend this, what kind of effect that has on the players.
Well, did you hear Charles Barkley this morning?
No. What did he say?
He went off. I mean, he's like, I can't believe that these guys are going to play. He's like, you're sweating all over each other. Everybody's hands are on that ball, from ball boys to, everybody, the helpers. He's like, I can't believe they're gonna do this and risk all these kids, with the chance of getting this thing and then taking it back. And he's just like, I can't believe that they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I work for TNT, and they cover all the whole tournament. And he's like, I work for this network. He goes, they're probably gonna be mad at me, but this is what I think should happen.
And then there's like the worst of the worst people that like would like knowingly send someone into the team's hotel that they're traveling in of the opposite
to infect them.
Yes, there are bad people like that out there.
That
Seriously.
just gave me goosebumps.
You ever hear the story where someone keeps calling their hotel room at 3:00 in the morning
to
set up fire alarms?
Yeah, set up fire alarms, or even the guy who infected that tree, the Alabama fan infected the tree in Auburn, like to knowingly send someone into the hotel.
Sick, twisted.
Hey. I'll tell you what.
Yikes.
Vegas will make you do some weird things. There was that guy, Parlay Pats, who sent death threats over Instagram. Oh, I'll tell you that story. Yeah, we'll come back to that story. That was that came through late last week. Yeah, there was a guy that Parlay Pats is his nickname. Last name is Patz, and he started sending death threats
to win his parlay.
yeah. So I guess I tell you what, I would not put that past him.
Like, I wouldn't either. But
you know
what?
There?
Just to think about, like,
go
that
ask for an autograph.
Crossed my mind until
you
Johnny.
Said it. You got a cough? Go ask for an autograph.
Put X-Lax in their morning.
Yeah.
So you got to hear the story.
Coffee.
I was just talking to the owner of the GM of the Iowa Barnstormers after our conference call today, and they're playing in Oakland Saturday. So he said he had a couple players get hurt, so he had to call the airline to get the plane tickets changed, and the airline tried to charge them $200 change fee per player.
Oh my gosh.
And he says, "Are you kidding me?" And the lady says, "No, sir, that's policy." And he said, "Well, looks like," he goes, "I'm not going to waste a ticket, so it looks like I'll go ahead and put him on your plane." He goes, "Just so you know, he's running a high fever and he doesn't feeling well."
How'd that go over?
She said, "What was that?" And she said, "Yeah, he's one of our players, but I'm not going to waste a ticket. I'll go ahead and send him on your plane." And she's like, No, what'd you say about the other part? And so he's like, yeah, he's running a fever and, complained he wasn't feeling too good. She's like, okay, we'll go ahead and change that for no fee.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right away, huh?
That's right, Karen.
Oh, boy.
Change that.
Yeah.
See, this is what you got to do. But can you believe the Legion? Okay. Doug, did you hear about this?
Yeah.
$29 from Moline to Florida.
I've partaked in those before.
Right now, I'm thinking about it. Putting me and my 3 kids for the weekend, get the heck out of here.
Well, it's not. You can't do it for this weekend, though, right?
Well, I don't think so. I haven't.
Yeah,
looked
you
yet,
think it's like a 21-day advance notice?
Whatever. 21 days. Then we're going to Florida for $29 a piece.
Yeah, but then they're going to say it's $11 to pick your seat, and it's $80 for your carry-on luggage, and all that other stuff. If you ever never flown Allegiant, they're like a nickel and dime.
Oh, of course. Yeah, if it's over 50 pounds, then you have to pay an extra $50. There's so many little.
Yeah, so that $29 ticket ends up being $129.
Still better than $700.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on, kids, pack light. We're going to Florida.
Let's take a break. We're going to continue talking with Doug Bland from the Quad City Steamwheelers. We've got Bomber and the Hassel Castle with us. Eventually, maybe Rosso might call in. I know he's doing an interview right now with Luca Garza, but he's in Indianapolis. Obviously, the Big Ten tournament has been postponed and, canceled, along with the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12, and basically all of them. And where this goes from here, I don't know. We're going to keep an eye on it, but we're going to take a quick break.
All right. Done Right TV and Security Solutions is proud to be your Dish premier local retailer. Use Dish's voice remote to search live TV, over 80,000 on-demand titles, and Netflix at the same time. Done Right has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theaters, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that is right for you. Netflix streaming membership required. Voice remote requires internet-connected hopper. Restrictions apply. Once again, that's Done Right TV and Security Solutions, 866-84-RIGHT.
This is Josh Sides, head coach, St. Ambrose University Esports. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Escúchame, it is Dan Levatación, ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old and doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Lebitard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce this show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Golick and Wingo.
I'm done with all you coaches talking about how you don't like the transfer portal. You can all stick it as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's getting ridiculous about how you can do what you want, and that's cool. Again, I'm fine with that, but I absolutely think that a player should have one freebie move, and I'm done with you coaches and talking about that. You know, and players being able to have a little bit of movement on their side.
Coaches need to be a lot smarter on how they
a lot
address
quieter,
that.
you know?
Golick and Wingo, mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM. From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KPOB, Davenport.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. We're live in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. I just got a text from Ross. He's in Indianapolis. He's going to give us a call in a few minutes to talk about what's going on there in Indy at the Big Ten basketball tournament. He just got done interviewing Luka Garza, so we'll wait for his call to come in. We have Doug Bland from the Quad City Steamrollers. Talking, obviously, what everyone's talking about, the coronavirus. We dipped into a few things. We can always come back to it again, but you can always watch us on Facebook Live. You can listen to us there, rewind the show, talk about it. I gave you my opinion on the NBA and how maybe it works in their benefit to take a break right now from anywhere to the, it's going to be more than 2 weeks is what my opinion. And I think this might work into their favor, and I talked about that earlier. Doug's in here. Doug owns the Quad City Steamrollers, and obviously that's a big deal what's going on. And but before we get to that, we got Adam Rosso. He's going to be calling in. Adam Rosso from Hawkeye headquarters. Yo, Rosso, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Bombers here. Doug's here. Doug Bland from the Quad City Steamrollers in studio with us as well. T-Roy's take care of himself.
He's my golf partner in the Channel 4 golf outing every year.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
Ripping, exactly, Doug.
Ripping. Rosso, it's been a crazy 24 hours.
I mean, I'll tell you what, unprecedented. I think I've texted that to anybody and everybody that I've been texting. I mean, I told you last night, I think everybody had that feeling that this was probably going to be the outcome on all these conference tournaments and probably the NCAA tournament. I know Kevin Warren saying, in his press conference that they met this morning, they met last night, everybody kind of trying to get on the same page. And it was, kind of an inevitable ending. So I running around here, I'm going back to the hotel. I just talked to Frank Garza. We'll have his comments later, but he's mostly disappointed for the seniors. Obviously, he understands the health implications. He's got family over in Italy, so he had an interesting perspective saying, they're shut down. And the fact is, as a company, do we want to get to that point? Because it could quickly get there. And he was just saying how, it's basically a lockdown situation over there, and he understands why they're doing it. He hopes that whether it's in a month, 2 months, they can work out a situation to try to play a tournament, whether it's coaches and players and referees, and that's it. He just didn't know if that's even on the radar. So
whoa, slow down.
Very interesting.
The whole tournament's shut down.
The whole tournament's shut down?
What?
I mean, it's inevitable. It's inevitable, you guys. I think it's going to happen. I would assume by tomorrow. That's the feeling I'm getting here. And I know it's not official, but I just can't see how they're going to say we're going to travel 68 teams around the country, unless they had every kid and player and coach get tested. It's not hitting young people as much, but that's, one of those things where is the basketball tournament that integral at this point? I don't know. I mean, we're all in uncharted territory. So he thinks, like I said, Frank thinks it's going to be canceled, and he just hopes there could possibly be a solution, whether it's in a month, 6 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. I just nobody obviously knows right now. We're all going through this together and experiencing it for the first time.
Wow.
So my thing is
Hold
this.
on a second. I need to go to GoDaddy.com and register JuneMadness.com.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's say this thing is, I guess we don't know if they're going to postpone it or whatever else, but within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we've done everything we can to be proactive. It's down to a low number. At its peak, right now, between January 22nd to March 9th, the highest we've had reported in one day is 605, and it's trending downward in the United States. So, I mean, I know it's good to be proactive, but how long is it? How long is a is suspension of the tournament, and is it going to be to cancel it all the way? Are we going to give in? Are we going to feed into the monster that we all just panicked?
I mean, I don't know. I guess, leaving it up to kind of the comments I heard last night, whether it was from Mark Cuban, Roy Williams, I think the main thing that I'll defer to is I don't know, and I'm not a medical expert. I don't know what the timetable is. I don't know if this is all proactive enough to, in 2 or 3 weeks, them saying, all right, we have it at a manageable level. It's declining. Let's figure out a solution. I just don't know. And I don't know. I just don't know where it's at. And I guess I can't. I read some as much as I could yesterday when I got to the hotel. I don't know. I know that the biggest thing that health officials wanted to do is try to stop the situation where we'd be overrun, where the people it's affecting, whether it's elderly, people over 65, where they wouldn't be able to get treatment because there isn't enough room in hospitals. We're not close to that. I understand that.
This is insane.
kind of the precautions everybody's taking. That's all I can say from what I've read.
Rosso, think of the amount of medical red shirts that are going to be like somehow either applied for or granted because you cost someone a year of eligibility that might not go on to the NBA, or someone in the NCAA wrestling tournament who, if that happens to be canceled, and we're not, it's Thursday, we recklessly speculate, but if the trend looks this way, I mean, what don't you think you should be able to apply for a medical hardship?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like a 1-year waiver for everybody then, or is that kind of would have to be how it would work, right?
It'd have to, yeah.
On uncharted territory, there's so many logistics that I don't know if I don't know. I mean, I don't know if competing in postseason play merits an entire year of eligibility, because then that throws off everybody's scholarships and money, and I guess the NCAA would have to fund all that, right? Like they'd have to expand rosters potentially. Like I don't know. I don't know where that would come into play on the spectrum of how the NCAA wants to handle all this.
There's a lot of players out there that got drafted in the NBA by being highlighted on the NCAA tournament, and only because of that.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Have you heard anything about the NCAA wrestling tournament?
Kevin Warren did address it because he was asked about Big Ten hockey and the NCAA tournament. He said they're basically going by chronological order, if you will. Like, they obviously had to address basketball immediately if they were going to do anything, so they did. He said this afternoon they're talking the rest of the Big Ten sports that are going to be competed on this weekend. They're talking wrestling next weekend. They're talking spring sports, kind of just doing it in an orderly fashion. I will say, I said this when he came to Iowa City, I feel like he's got his head on straight. He knows what he's doing, and he knows, at the end of the day, he basically said, we're going to try to do what's best for our student athletes, and if it means canceling sporting events, we'll do it. There's a lot of money involved, but, it's just one of those things. Like, I think these guys don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's harder to say, we're going to, people are asking him, are they going to have a tournament? Are we going to try to do something? He said, I can't say that because there's eligibility issues. It's not like you can keep these guys around. They're not getting paid to sit around if they want to play in July, if there's draft NBA implications, all that stuff. And he basically said, we're going to try to do what's best for the student athletes, which I guess that's pretty much for me what you got to lay it down to. You got to say what it's best for the people involved. All of us want to see this stuff competed, upon. All of us want to watch March Madness. I want to cover it. But at the end of the day, if we're putting, coaches, players, anybody in too much danger, it's not worth it. So I think that's what they're navigating right now. And like I said, it's one of those things. Like unprecedented. Yesterday, you felt like if you put your phone down, you're going to miss out on 2 years worth of news in that few hour time frame. So it just was crazy. And you knew once they pulled the Thunder and the Jazz off the floor, once that happened, it was done. I said that to a friend. I said they're not playing anymore. There's no chance. Once that whole thing happened, and that's probably what it's going to take for the NCAA tournament, is somebody that's a player or a coach is going to test positive for this, and they're going to say, all right, we're not even going to bother trying, because you just can't put thousands of athletes and coaches and everybody in harm's way, because we don't know. I know there's preliminary numbers, but we don't know when it's all said and done how fast it's going to spread, how the death rate's going to fluctuate. And I think it's just the fear of the unknown right now, and that's kind of where we're at in the entire sports world.
Well, I know, and you even said, it was yesterday, before anything went down, you Twitter and you said, it's just me talking. You weren't saying, hey, it's WHBF, hey, it's Hawkeye headquarters. You said, but I don't see this thing, and you're talking about the Big Ten tournament. You're like, I don't see this thing playing on Thursday. Nope. And you wrote that before that even happened.
Yeah, and I talked privately to people on Monday too. They said, I don't think there's any chance March Madness happens with fans in the stands. And now my opinion, again, I just don't see this happening. Not in the next couple weeks. If they can get creative, and do something in a month, maybe. But there again, you're going to defer to the health officials and experts that know the length and the kind of the process with this whole coronavirus. So you just had that feeling though, just with once the governors of Washington and Ohio basically said we're not doing this with any fans, that kind of started the ball rolling because the NCAA is going to have a unanimous policy. You're not going to be able to play in some places and not play anywhere else. And once that got going, I just knew personally, I just thought it was a matter of time. So
Wisconsin just did it
we'll
again
see,
as well.
What?
Wisconsin governor just announced it too.
That they shutting down everything.
Yeah,
Anything over 250 people.
Yep, and I understand people saying, you can come and go as you want, but I feel like it's at a certain point it's bigger than that. Like we want to be, just take a step back. We want to be empathetic towards other Americans, whether it's my grandma who's 96, my parents who are 70. I don't want them going out and getting anything, and if we are laissez-faire about this, and 99%, 98% of the people doesn't affect, it's not going to kill. Well, what if it kills your grandma who's 96 or somebody who's had a recent, procedure that they're recovering from and they get infected? Like, I just, you don't want to cause mass hysteria like that, but like, I think we just step back for a second, and that's really what it's coming down to. Like somebody's grandma that wants to come to the games, somebody's, that it could really, really affect. Like, if I get it, or one of you guys gets it, we'll probably get over it. It's probably fine, God willing. But it's the vulnerable people, like it usually is even with the seasonal flu, that I think we're just needing to, I guess, be mindful of when these policies and these general cancellations are happening.
It's like you said, it's unprecedented. It's crazy. So what's your plan there now up in Indianapolis?
I'm just pulling into the hotel. I got to pack up the room. They're letting us check out, but then I'm going to go back down to downtown and film some stuff. We'll have obviously the reaction from Kevin Warren, and then stuff from Luka Garza's dad, Frank, here coming up later. So we'll have full coverage of that tonight, and then hit the road sometime after that and sit tight and see what all happens. Like I said, I feel like in my heart, my opinion again, I think tomorrow's kind of the reckoning day for the tournament and all the NCAA events here in the next couple weeks.
So you think tomorrow is going to be obviously because Selection Sunday you have to make the decision, right? What they're going to have to do.
It's Friday, and I just feel like we're gonna get one more day of whether it's one more day of health reports, one more day of numbers, and just mull their options over and kind of see where they're going to fall on this.
Adam, thanks for taking the time. You guys can follow him on Twitter, Adam J. Rosso, and also follow Hawkeye Headquarters as well, and follow Hawkeye Headquarters on Facebook. Rosso, you have a safe trip home, and look forward to talking to you real soon.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Yep,
Thank
talk to you
you.
Soon. Yep, bye. Again, you heard it from him. He talked to the commissioner was there and everything. You said the Wisconsin governor shut it down. I was thinking as you were saying that, what does that mean, that 250 thing?
They said no large gatherings of more than 250 people will be allowed.
So is that school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so our team owner in Green Bay, the Green Bay Blizzard, just had texted the commissioner in our league, and that's how I knew.
Wisconsin went from, in the 48 hours, went from 1 to 6 confirmed cases. One person has been recovered from the virus, but they did have 37 residents returning from the Princess Cruise ship who have to be self-quarantined for 14 days. That's what's going on in Wisconsin. So, once you do that, it's got to shut down. That's a gathering, right?
So when are schools going to, we have one case in Iowa, correct?
No, we have 11.
11 now?
Yeah.
It was one, 3 days ago?
Yeah. We had 3 right away.
Okay.
So they went to, Egypt.
But, okay, so
I'm sorry, we're at 13, sorry.
But the thing is, we've only tested like a couple hundred people. That's the thing is, nobody knows until we start getting like massive testing. We're not going to know how many people.
Well, and the only cases that we know of are probably the most severe because they're the ones that are getting tested because they're the ones suffering the most. So how many people have had it and have recovered without us even knowing? That's another
plenty.
thing.
Probably
Yeah,
none
that's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
U.S. Probably none in the U.S. 'cause
Oh no, they say a lot of people have had it and they don't even know it because they just think it's the normal influenza and they don't get tested and they just suffer through it.
That'd be me.
Yeah, that would be me too. 'Cause when you have kids, you don't really have the luxury of not suffering through it.
Yeah.
I was just bragging. I told Coach I hadn't been sick in like 4 years. I haven't even had the
Better
flu or
knock on wood
nothing.
real
I know.
quick, Doug.
I was.
Good
Trust
grief.
me. I made my own hand sanitizer last night off of Facebook.
Everclear and aloe.
No, it was 98% rubbing alcohol and aloe vera. Yeah.
Yeah, see, you can. But I heard this soap is more effective anyway than hand sanitizer. Because it will kill your natural defenses. It kills your immunity, that hand sanitizer. So what you want is good germs, not bad germs. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good news.
Welcome, kids. Eat your vegetables.
So that's the thing. What I handed you, Bomber, when I was talking to Rosso,
this is
that
freaky.
it's about being proactive, and China has been proactive as much as all the cases in United States have been proactive. It's places like Italy where they weren't proactive, and now and I know that it's the Prime Minister said that with the entire shutdown of Italy, they still don't feel like they'll see decline in numbers until like for 10 days.
You're right.
I think the only other one that looked a little proactive where they dipped down and went back up was Iran. Am I right?
Iran,
Yeah.
U.S. is
they're declining.
Yep.
They-
Everyone's
at-
declining except
and
Spain
those-
and Italy.
And those are days January 22nd through March 9th, right?
Correct.
And so, like, at its highest was 360 something during one day, and right now it's the 36 was March 9th for the United States.
That was China.
China, sorry.
China.
We're in the 60s then, as of March 9th. So
68, yep.
if we see anything go up or down, but again, I gave you the numbers of the things that have gone up. So that's March 9th, and I gave you March 11th when most of them had doubled up. Maybe it is, maybe those numbers are a little skewed. And he's right, and that's such a decent word that Rosso said, and it's something we lack, and there has to be a thing of empathy.
Humanity,
for another
humanity.
person, and nobody does. And Doug, you mentioned your parents, I mentioned mine, and Bomber's parents as well. Those are the things you worry about, and every parent's gonna go, "Don't worry about me," but you do. And deep down inside, you're like, "All right."
My parents are 60; they're fine.
Okay, tell them that. I'm sure that's what they want to hear. Like, you're fine. What do you want? What do you want?
They
from
do
me?
smoke a lot of cigarettes though, so their immunity might be a little bit.
So I saw something last night that was really interesting. They said that in China, the population is very fit. They eat very well.
Yes.
They eat very good foods.
Correct.
And that Sanjay Gupta or whatever his name was, he was saying that in America there's such a huge epidemic in obesity and people's terrible diets and diabetes and all that stuff, that obesity with a lung infection could be really, really bad.
Absolutely.
The numbers could be quadruple what they are in China because there's so many fat, overweight people
obesity.
that can barely breathe.
It's true though. I mean, it's very true. But then you have to look at the counterpoint of that is China is so densely populated, which is why it spreads so fast there.
That was like a double fat and overweight.
I
Double
love it.
entendre.
I love it.
But it's true.
Really good
It
way to
is
hammer it
true.
home. But yeah.
As I just saw this morning, the KFC selling a donut chicken sandwich.
I gotta get one.
Oh my god!
I'll do an extra double workout tomorrow.
Gross.
All right, we're going to take our second break of the hour. First things, want to remind you on Monday, I got this one. On Monday, we had Tori in. Tori, the owner and operator of Thick Kitchen, THICC, and she's based locally here in the Quad Cities. She's a 2015 Kendall College graduate with a degree in the sciences of baking and pastry. Most importantly, Tori has a passion for food and the Quad Cities. Tori has a mission to share the excitement and joy that comes from food, the experience of being together, and creating memories with friends and family. So if you have a birthday party, a celebration, a wedding, or a graduation, you need to get a hold of Tori and order one of her specialty cakes. Head over to Thick Kitchen, THICC Kitchen. All of her social media pages are under that, and on Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot, including Pinterest. And you can see some of her creations, get more information about private events. So contact Tori today at 309-948-3140 or go to Thick Kitchen social pages and send them a message. You will not be disappointed when you work with Tori. She was in here.
Adorable.
She was great. She had those cookies. We all had them the same way. We looked at them. They were thick. And we all thought the same thing, that they're just going to crumble. Not at all.
No.
She does private chef events.
Yes.
She does specialty cakes. She can do graduations. She can cater it. There's not... If she can't do it, she'll point you in the right direction, but she's not the type to tell you no. She's going to make it work for you. And yes, go back to Monday's show. You can listen to her talk. She was fantastic, natural, and so much fun getting to know her. So get a hold of Tori at Thick Kitchen, 309-948-3140. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't hassle us. We're local.
The hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Roy, who is feeling older every day, and I think this is universal for people in sports, that you sort of can calendar your own age by guys you saw growing up playing when you loved sports, having kids who are now playing sports. But Roy has never felt older than he did during the break when, very sadly, he just said to me, Frank Gore's kid has enrolled at Southern Miss, and it's the first time you can remember an active athlete of any sort having a kid, but it's only because Frank Gore has been in the league 4 yards at a time since 1982.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Why would you when you still get 4 yards?
Frank Gore Jr. is going to put it on the poll, Antonio. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to retire from football sooner than Frank Gore Sr.?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Golick and Wingo.
I'm done with all you coaches talking about how you don't like the transfer portal. You can all stick it as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's getting ridiculous about how you can do what you want, and that's cool. Again, I'm fine with that, but I absolutely think that a player should have one freebie move, and I'm done with you coaches and talking about that. You know, and players being able to have a little bit of movement on their side.
Coaches need to be a lot smarter on how they
a lot
address
quieter,
that.
you know?
Golick and Wingo, mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce this show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM. Day and night, Chicago Cubs baseball is on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
We are back. Don't hassle us. We're local. ESPN 1170 AM. And it just, the more you talk about it, what's going on, the coronavirus. And we're in studio with Doug Bland, owner of the Quad City Steamers. Bomber's in studio with us as well. And we talked to Adam Rosso. He's in Indianapolis where the Big Ten tournament obviously is canceled. He'll be traveling back home to the Quad Cities. But you start doing more the domino effect of where everything's going. And Bomber said, like, what are we going to talk about? Like, next week.
What are we going to do?
We'll make up fake tournaments for March Madness type of thing.
Thumb wrestling competitions in studio.
And that led me to think about this. What are the sports books going to do? They're brand new.
Yeah.
And we also said this off the air. What is the XFL doing?
Nothing right now.
They're not. Now, more than likely, I don't know. I mean, the games are on Saturday. 2 are on Saturday, so they're traveling. Traveling today, probably. They haven't made an announcement. I do have to feel like that the XFL doesn't want to make an announcement because even though they are 2 separate LLCs, they go hand in hand with the WWE. And that would put the pressure on WrestleMania.
Well, that's not a sport, though.
Hey.
I understand that, but because of Vince McMahon, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then he would have to look at, all right, where it's at. And that's down in Tampa this year. So, and if Florida governor comes out and says mass gathering, it's nothing then. I mean, they have no choice.
No, they already did. Well, Dade County already did.
Okay.
Because the NASCAR race in Homestead is canceled. So
Jeez.
the mayor of Dade County, Miami-Dade County, so from basically, Fort Lauderdale south is shut down.
So, and I don't know, this is going to hurt the sport. This was going to be the local sports book's first March Madness, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to go deep into some weird sports to find lines on, like ping pong, and not weird sports, but ones that you don't normally watch every day.
Cockfighting.
Yep, that too, Bomber.
Cricket.
That's where your head goes. Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah. But yeah, there's been no mention of the XFL whatsoever. And then, Doug, you said that NASCAR is still going this.
I think this weekend in Atlanta they're still on, but next weekend in Homestead, I know it's already been canceled.
Where's WrestleMania?
It's in Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Is there anything that you like for NASCAR this week, Doug? Any driver you like?
Kyle Busch.
All right, Kyle Busch is 11.9. If we have a $50,000, if we're on DraftKings.com, not saying we are, which we are. If we're on DraftKings for the DFS for Daily Fantasy Sports, because I'm gonna introduce, you're gonna help me, and I'm gonna introduce you to Daily Fantasy Sports. We have $50,000 for 6 drivers. Okay.
Okay.
Kyle Busch is 11.9.
11,900.
Yeah, out of the 50,000.
Okay.
Say yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Now we're gonna have to find value after that because now we only have 38-1 left, and average remaining player is
William Byron. What's William Byron?
I will. There he is. He's 8.6.
All right. Don't pick him yet. What about?
Love it. Look how good he is.
Man crush.
The kid from Tucson drives the 88 car.
I don't know. Bomber. Find out who Tucson is. Drives the 88 car.
Let me see.
Tucson 88 car. Tucson.
He's from Tucson.
Tucson
88 car NASCAR.
I gotcha. I know how to Google, guys.
Good.
Good grief.
Trying to find.
So he would be a good play too. And then
Alex Bowman.
I love it. What's he?
You guys are so good at this. By the way, T-Roy just yells it. He's 9.8.
How about Blaney?
Okay. Yeah, he's 9.2. Man, all right, it's fine. We can find some guys on that. Which, we don't have to find value right away.
Matt Diabenedetto.
Ooh, I like that name.
Nice Irish boy.
That is not Irish. That sounds Italian and bad.
Right, he's 7.5. There's our value.
Get him.
All right.
Jump
Love
on
it.
him.
Okay. There's our one. All right. Good. Now we got to keep going. We can go in the nines and find someone out of nowhere, and then we can use our value what's left.
Are you guys really doing your thing right now?
I'm doing it right now.
Right
NASCAR,
now, real time. All right, whatever. Cool.
Just
I know nothing about this, you guys, so I can't partake.
Name me off some other ones down towards the bottom.
Okay, you want to find value first?
Yes.
Okay. At 4, I'm going to give you value of anybody that's got any top 10 finishes. Okay. Let's see. This is Corey LaJoy.
Nope.
Yep, that's a no. Sorry, Corey. This is no, that's not it. Hold on. Wallace? Bill Wallace? Is that it?
No. William
Bubba
Wallace.
Huh?
Bubba Wallace. No.
Bubba. No, that's a no.
Definitely
Dylan.
not Braveheart.
No.
Bell.
Yes. Christopher Bell?
All right. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
All right, 6'3", so we got some value there.
Okay.
You want to find more value and
Yes.
then beef? Okay, let's find value and beef up from there. All right. We're going to get some guys under that have been in the top 10. I give you Joy. No Bubba. You got Dylan. Custer.
No.
Buscher.
No.
Bueller.
Chastain.
No.
Stenhouse.
No.
This is so much fun. Reddick.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick, former dirt late model racer.
All right, now we got 8.5 left average with 2 more spots. We have
Ty
17,000.
What about Kevin Harvick?
Ty Dillion.
All right.
Mikey said that.
And he's 11.5.
Get him.
They're ignoring me, Mike. I can't help you.
Now we're at 5.5 left. All right, so who can we get at 5.5?
Ty Dillion.
No, we already have him.
Oh, we already have him, Mike.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
At 5.5, just to even it out, is, and this will be the end of it, Ryan Preece.
That he's only one?
He's only one.
Oh. Get rid of Harvick and pick up.
Get rid of Harvick and pick up. Who'd you say before? Kyle Busch?
No, we already have Kyle.
Do we?
We're gonna have to pick up a Ford probably. And
no, wait. Oh, there's a different Busch.
Mikey said Ricky Stenhouse.
Is Kurt Busch in there?
Yeah, that was the one that I was just saying. Okay,
Kurt Busch might run good there too.
All right, Kyle Busch, and the one that I said that, yeah.
What about
Joanna Busch?
Kyle Larson.
All right, I can look that up for you. He's 9,000.
Get him.
Okay.
Yep.
So we have 8,000 even left for one driver.
All
so
right,
that would
give
be
me anybody below 8,000.
All right, that is Almirola.
Eric Almirola.
Yep. A. Dillon.
No.
And then the Steenhouse,
No.
Chastain, everyone else. So the two that we can get are Almirola or A. Dillon.
I take Almirola first.
Will you say it one more time?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Please.
All right.
Eric Almirola.
Yeah, I'm going to submit it. Submit. We're in. I will let you know how we do.
How much you putting on it?
It was a small one to get in to win. I just want to win all. It's just $1 entry.
Oh, okay.
But you can win different levels of it. How much you can win? You can win up to
Gotcha.
like 3,000 or whatever else for first place.
We had Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch.
I will screen snap and send it to you.
Okay. Kyle Larson will run good there because he'll run the high side there and be good, I'm sure.
Let's see, it's fun stuff.
So this early in the season, we just don't know what the Chevys and the Fords and the aerodynamic packages they have right now, because last weekend was a low downforce track, and this will be similar to what we had in Vegas a couple weeks ago, which.
Yeah, Bomber. See, that's why we bring
it's
Doug.
better than what most people have in Vegas, so I'll just put that out there.
That's what. So, Doug. Man, it's
Dougie Fresh.
It's been strange what's been going on, all of this stuff, and I mean it's got to be stressful on you. I was just like talking about it. I know it is talking with you.
Yeah,
but
for
you know,
sure.
keep your head up, and the
I'm
thing
gonna have
is,
a long couple days here ahead.
Yeah, and we're gonna do is not that we didn't push local before, but we're gonna push going to see you even harder. To bounce back when this whole thing comes about and it all gets over with. But tomorrow we'll have Merrick on, and Bomber, you're in here.
Yep.
I think Erickson's going to be here, and I think even Marvin's going to be here.
Oh,
so
party.
look at that, 3 M's. At some point, we'll also have Adam from Front Street. We'll talk about the XFL. We'll make our picks if they still have it. There's been no announcement of there. But, hey, everybody stay safe. This has been a fun day. It's fun to just have a debate and talk about what's going on and where you're, like I said, where your level everything is at and what's going on. But you stay safe, Quad Cities, and
wash your hands.
Wash your hands. That's it. Do all that fun stuff. But enjoy yourselves. We will talk to you tomorrow. And Doug, again, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Doug.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.